Thanks for staying with us. Now, digital media have quickly changed ways in which parents and children communicate, enjoy themselves, acquire information, and solve problems daily. Very young children are regular users of smartphones and tablets, so their early digital engagement poses new challenges for parent-child relationships and parental roles. Now, do parents understand the concept of digital parenting, and how are traditional parents moving from traditional parenting styles to adopt or rather adapt and regulate children's engagement with the internet and digital media? Are today's parents competent to raise these generation of digital natives? Finally, what's the implications of excessive exposure to digital technology? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. So it's so interesting. Why are you saying whom?
Because all the plenty questions you've already posed, we need to just write them down and start asking her one after the other. Then we tick it. Yes, we good.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But what do you think? You are in the what's it called, the digital media space as a digital media entrepreneur, and you do a lot in terms of content creation and all of that. Do you think parents are ready for what's coming online for us as
There has never been a time that any parent is ready for anything. I don't think there's a rule book anywhere that says this is how to be a parent. It's just like marriage. There's no book that tells you this is how to be a wife or how to be a husband. You just have to learn on the job, if I can put it that way, and of course learn to evolve, adapt, regulate, learn, unlearn, not be very rigid and all that. But just to break this down a bit, have you seen the videos and content about pandemic babies? Now, those ones are just so interesting because you see babies that are not up to 6 weeks, they're not up to 6 weeks, 2 weeks, and you're seeing them doing things that you'd expect a child to start doing from, say,
1 year
8 months, 1 year. So a lot is happening, not just even with the interaction with social media, but with the character that you people are bringing into this world. I don't know what is going on, but like you said, I mean, content creation is important. I'm a huge fan of curation, which is how I live my life, and that's why I preach it every time. You have to create your space, create your content. So for me, if you can find a way to have a conversation with your child to make them understand the importance of curating content, I think that will go a long way, even with where the world is going to, the metaverse, the gaming. There is a lot for you to engage in. So you have to be able to choose and say, this is best for me now. This is how I want to relax. This is how I want to engage with the world socially. And this is how I want to use this platform to learn, because there's a lot of opportunities as well. So it's just about
a mixture of a lot of
you
things.
and deciding what works for you and finding a way to communicate that to your children.
Absolutely.
As well. Yeah.
How about EC? You are in the educational sector. So tell us, what do you think digital natives, would be, what would you think would be the ideal way to engage them, the digital natives?
You should engage them with educational apps. Basically, that's where I would always go to as an educator. But one other thing I also need us to understand is that it's not all educational apps that are also good for the children, because they can also be way above the capacity of understanding. So that's something we should also look into, and also curate the content that the children get to look at. Because when you're talking to a child, they're exposed to too many things right now. And I actually feel for parents today, and I also feel for educators as well. So they're exposed to too many contents, and in the course of being exposed to all of these contents, they do not know where to draw the line between what they should be looking at and what they should not be looking at. So we should also guide them.
Okay.
And tell them what they're not supposed to look at.
If
they will listen.
Let me bring in our guest, Omotunde Adebowale-David, popularly known as Lolo One. Is a Nollywood actress, and she's a Nigerian radio presenter. In 2019, she had joined the Lasgidi, but she later resigned as a general manager. She resigned in February. And Lolo is a multi-award winning entertainer and a Nigerian celebrity that we love on Ways. Thank you so much. She's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much, Lolo.
And she's mothering.
Hey, she's a mother of very strong digital natives. So Elsie had to go and fish her. Elsie has been chasing you for a very long time. So Thank you so much, first of all, for honoring our invitation. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
It's nice to be with you, ladies. It's totally nice.
So tell us about parenting.
Well, parenting is changing. It's like it's impossible to raise your children the way your parents raised you, because like every other thing that is happening around us right now, we all have to keep evolving. Because if you stay in the ice age, you're going to lose your children.
True.
So you have to evolve with the times, even though you don't like it. Trust me, parenting has gone now. There's a psychology of parenting, there's a social side to it, there's a physical side to it, there's a psycho side to it, there's so many sides to it. So for us parents right now, I think one of the biggest challenges is balance. Knowing where, and let me tell you, balance is now individual. It's based on families. It's not even a general norm. What works for your children might not work for my children. So that means you can't even
within your children.
Yes.
What works for one child?
Like my 4 children, or
completely
5, because
different.
I have one more adopted.
Wow.
And they're all different. My daughter is into Korean stuff. My daughter is staying nameseo to me in the house. As in, she's speaking Korean. And she's learning to write it on her own.
Wow.
She has Korean apps. She tells me that once she's done with her first degree, she's going to Korea. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Wow.
She had told me if I don't balance myself, she doesn't have time to have me come and do grandma, that she'll put me in old people's home so that she can get on with her life. So I better have a life now. You know, we have funny conversations with your children, but you need to know that that's the way their mind is wired. So gone are those days that parents are looking at their children for insurance in their old age. You better be planning for your retirement.
By yourself.
Or else you'll be outside. Imagine she's married to a Korean, truly. And that one doesn't even understand the concept of omugo. That means I can't even come and visit. I'm going to be zooming in to see the Korean baby. You know, that's on an extreme level. But you see, parenting is very, very extremely stressful at the moment, because we are nurturing children. Our lives are still not slowing down.
Sure.
We still have our lives to live, our careers to pursue, parenting to do, and a whole lot of other things go into it.
Sure.
So for us parents now, it's a really, really, it's like a jungle.
Wow.
Trust me.
Wow.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, there has to be a level of openness while parenting, right? And I believe that even within that openness, there also has to be a level of strictness. And also, in balancing, let's not even go as far as the digital media or digital age and metaverse we're getting into now, just the social media and what they see, because a lot of them have access, even more than you do, right? So how do you still maintain value and making them understand that what you see online is not necessarily real life, even though it affects our real lives?
Wow, very interesting question, because I have like 2 teenagers at the moment. Let me tell you, there's nothing you can run away from, but you must have hard conversations. There are many things parents run away from. You can't run away from it, because we must deal with it together. You must know where your children's mind, how their minds are wired. My son right now is the youngest teen in my house. So everything is war. Everything is, you don't understand me. But I have to okay, Murewa, what are you saying? Can we understand it? Then he will go. I said, you might think I do not understand you, but I do understand you, but you probably would not understand it. So I'm just going to allow you live out your annoyance, your anger. Then when you are calmer, we might be able to see a way through it. You see, for me as a parent now, you need to have that openness. Our parents didn't have that. I remember how I couldn't even, talking about periods with your parents was like something we had to talk hush hush, you know. But now I'm raising my daughter not to even be ashamed of showing her pad. When she has a sanitary towel, she wants to hide in the bag. I said, no, it's nothing to be ashamed of. If you do not have this, you cannot have this and this and that. Even though she's still grappling with it, because there's still a little bit of, mysticism, stigma attached to
Around
our
it.
periods.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. But you must have honest conversations with your children. If you don't teach them, they're going to learn it from somewhere. So that means it's better. I tell my daughter every day, sex is great. Oh, if you do it, you're probably going to enjoy it. But it has consequences. Are you ready? One day I shocked her. I said, do you want to make me a grandma at 16? She said, Mommy, no. I said, then you have no business going there just yet. Because I tell her, you haven't even found yourself. What do you like about yourself? What do you know about Ara? And she said, Mommy, I'm still working on it. Then that means you have a lot of work to do on yourself. You don't have to complicate it with other things. Even though I know some of your friends are doing it. And you know, many times we do this no thing to our children. We are killing them. If they want to go to a party, you allow them sometimes. They would come back home and tell you, Mommy, it was a waste of my time. I shouldn't have gone. I said, if I didn't, I saw it coming. They had like a rave after secondary school. You know, they would be planning like a rave. But I know that I didn't see one thing on social media to even say that there's going to be a party. So how is that party going to rock? But, oh my God, she had bought new clothes. She had fixed her hair. She's done this. And when she did go for the party, and she didn't talk about it. I didn't even say anything for 2 days. I'm like, babe, you didn't gist me. What happened? I said, Mommy, it was such a washout. Oh my God, I shouldn't have even come out. I used that time for my math and all that and all that. So honest conversation. These children are not children you say no. And your parents, you just, once our parents tell us no, you just take that no and run away. But my daughter's going to say, Mommy, why? Why shouldn't I do this? Why shouldn't I do that? So you have to be informed as a parent. And don't leave them in that. And like in my house, it's a rule. My children are not on social media until they're 16.
Oh.
It's a rule. So she walked. She was patient. So she turned 16 in February, and I allowed her to get on Instagram in December so that she can. And I've been pushing this page for her. I've been posting. I've been encouraging her. Because you need to know your children, to know their mental capacity. The world is vicious.
Very real.
People write things about children. Like one of our pictures I posted like 2 years ago. Someone wrote on that, your daughter is black like a Ghanaian. But thank God, imagine she was on social media at that time when she was still forming her, coming to herself. And she read that. It derails them. Do you know there is depression in children now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
From the things they see. So you need to have honest conversation that even you are uncomfortable with. Sometimes they'll tell you about money. Mommy, why don't you have money like Tiwa Savage? Why don't you have this?
I was going to come there. As a celebrity, your case is even tougher. You know what? But let's go and take a break. I'll come to you. Let's drink some water. We'll be right back. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat with Lolo Wan on raising digital natives, right? Let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Okay, so, Isi, I was going to come to you.
Yes, I was going to address the issue of sex education with the digital natives. But you've already addressed that, and that is something that's very crucial, because back in the days they would say, oh, if a boy touches you like this, you get pregnant. But now they can actually go online and Google how this can happen. So there's nothing you can hide from them anymore. Now, my question is on peer pressure. How do you handle peer pressure amongst digital natives, especially in the fact that my friend has a PS4, my friend has this, why can't I have this?
That? Wow, you guys are touching on I love the way your questioning is going, because you're going round. So we're going to be having like a very wholesome conversation. Peer pressure is present everywhere. The only thing I do is raise your children with confidence. Let them know who they are, that they're not made up of what I tell my boys every day, I said, this is my house. And I'm your mother. but you have access to it for so long. I tell them every day, once you are out of university, I'm getting you out of my house to go and start your life. I know it sounds off and this and that, but if you do not raise your children to be independent in these times, you are killing them.
Exactly.
My second son is learning fashion. I paid traditional tailoring, like a designer. I'm going to give them all those things to occupy them and help them build their character, because you can't fight their wars for them. These digital natives, they're not like us at all. We had bullies, and the bullying was just limited to some things. Do you know they would bully them to their image, what they have, what they use, what they wear? Those are the things, what they look like. My last son has alopecia. That means he doesn't have hair.
Yeah.
And every day I tell him, I said, you don't have much hair. He said, I know, mommy. Some people tell me that I look like this, I look like that. I said, don't your brothers go to salon every week? What do they go to cut off?
Yeah.
I said, their hair. So you don't even have to stress yourself as much, because they still want to go to, bald is hot.
It's spicy.
He said, mommy, I tell them all the time I'm so gorgeous and handsome. I said, yes, because that is the truth. You have to raise your children with confidence, because you can't fight their wars. Look at us that are celebrity moms. Do you know that there are many things that are like strongholds for us? Like when my daughter they're all in boarding school. I don't go from visiting there all the time. That's why co-parenting is so key. Because sometimes I'll go to their school. Parents will focus on me, the celebrity mom, and make teachers focus on my children inappropriately. It's either they're going to favor them too much because they want favors from me, or they're going to be beastly to them because they just want to feel bad that, yes, your mother is popular. So I make my children understand the reason why I do what I do. And they say, mommy, don't come, because I don't want everybody focusing on you. Just come early so that you'll be done before everybody. We have conversations, because this peer pressure thing you're talking about is the cause of depression in children right now. We've seen children take their lives for things that are
very little.
Like
what's the right time for? What's the right time for a child to have a phone? Because that's part of what causes the depression.
That phone thing is tricky, because now you need to keep in touch with your children. So for mine, I think my children got phones when they were like 9, but they don't take their phones to school. Their phones are home. So when they are home, they can't have access to their phones, but they don't. All of them are in boarding school, except the youngest. So he has access to his phone weekends when his siblings are not around, so that you can monitor. I can check in on him. What are you doing? It's just for communication, and now our lives are so digital that sometimes we put CCTVs in the house to just monitor what your kids are doing. So sometimes it's how you give them access, even to their gaming. Like I tell my children, reward system is so beautiful. My son wanted, what did he want at the time? He wanted like a bicycle. Then we had a conversation. We went to where they sell the bicycle. I told him the price. And I gave that if you can be first to third, I would save up and I would buy you this bike. Because he said, mommy, so much money. I said, yes, it is so much money. You know, parents just bringing gifts home and your kids just see that thing and your children don't attach value to it.
Absolutely.
When they want to travel sometimes, I tell them, I cannot afford to take everybody because you guys are 4, 5. So we're going to share our holidays. So they group themselves into 2. And we have a target. And when they hit it, they are excited to claim their prize. But if you throw everything at their feet, they will not even know its value. So how do they even fight?
Absolutely. So it's actually quite interesting, because I was going to even ask you that how expensive is it raising digital natives? But I love what you've said about reward system, because if you understand the principle of giving value to get something, to get value in return, you would understand that that's the best principle ever you can teach your children. You know, I'm not one of those people that just throw gadgets at my children and all of that. But, you know, what's the most shocking thing you have? See her eyes. The most shocking thing for you raising
the day my son asked me for that thing that flies, what's that thing that we used to record? Drone.
Yeah.
I looked at him like this. He said, I said, what do you want for your birthday? He said, drone. I said, do you know how to spell it? And they just, our children are where we should all be, trusting, believing, having faith.
True.
They don't look at you parents like you cannot achieve something.
Cannot afford it, yeah.
By the time we had discussions on the drone, I said there are different kinds of drones. This is, instead of the drone, I bought helicopter. That is quite expensive also. But because I needed you, I wanted to show him that you are not ready. And of course, I knew my boys. The helicopter can never last beyond a week.
Wow.
Because there are 3 boys, and 3 boys, aggressive young boys growing up with a lot of energy. One wants to pull the plane apart. My first son is an engineer in training, so he feels like he knows the workings of everything. Of course, when the thing came apart, we had our second conversation. That if I had bought you that drone for so amount, this is what would have happened.
True.
And he just said, Mommy, I guess I'm not ready. Maybe when I grow up when I'm a little older, I might be able to be responsible to take care of it.
You will see by that drone.
See the way, but I have years to plan.
I like the way you're going about this, and you have infused a lot of rules and made them understand the culture of value. So how important is it for the digital natives to understand the concept of rules and regulations and guidelines in the home and the society?
Whether we like it or not, it's one of the beautiful things about us as Africans. We have culture. We have rules. These are things that guide our growing up. But because we're taking the psychology of the West, they're growing, the culture of family is lost. I've gone abroad before. I saw a very, very old woman, like 80-something, in a store. I'm like, what are you doing here? She said, I haven't seen my daughter in years. She left. Africa, you can't do that. Even if you leave your parents unattended, your family will care for that woman. Because it's our culture in Africa. If you raise your children without values, you will inherit hybrids. Because I call them hybrids, because they will be not Nigerian, not American, not African. They will just be a mix of something demonic that you can't even fathom. It's a lot. So it's either you do the hard work. Of course, my children cry and I don't give them everything. We fight about some things that are unresolved, and I cry with them. I say, I know, you don't understand.
Don't let me follow my
they know manipulation more than you.
Yes.
You gotta learn it.
So you have to.
So when I say, I'm doing the best I can, I'm saving, but it's not, it's a Mommy, it's okay. I can wait a little longer. I said, okay.
They are not watching our show.
And I say, okay, value is so important to us. We're losing it, I won't lie. When you go to school, you don't want your children disciplined. When your children's teachers are afraid of you as a parent because they know you can bring hell and high water on them, you need to really, really calm down and know that these digital natives are not bred like we are bred.
Sorry, yes, you want to come in?
Yeah, I want to come in. So, I mean, I like what you said regarding how you decided to sort of stay away from your children's school. And of course, making them understand why you're doing this because of their own good. It reminded me of the drama we had with Mercy Johnson and what's happening with her and all that, right? But in doing all this, how would you advise parents help their children manage the concept of success, especially as it relates to social media? So social media has given you that vibe of success is snap of the finger, you are everywhere, you're trending, or just do something stupid to trend and you're successful. It's sort of drawing away or erasing the idea of hard work and you going from one step to the next step until, I mean, you didn't get to where you are now overnight. It has to be years of process, right? How do you still make them understand that yes, people are showing the best part of their lives, right? They still have their processes to get to that point, and some of course are not real, right? But these are the values and the concepts of success and hard work.
You see, we're forgetting who we are. Because how did you know what success was? You are your best children's vision. I don't know how to tell them. They see how hard I work. You know, my boys would look at me when I come home and they would take turns to give me food rubs because they know that I absolutely rub it. Because I take my children to work with me. Sometimes they've been on set with me. They'll be my PA when they're holiday. And when they collect that 10K I give them, it's with honor, like, Mommy. Why? Because you must exemplify for them what hard work is.
Okay.
They will take it from you. They can look at social media and you must give them responsibilities. My children, they have a dog. They know they must care for this dog. When Chili is not feeling fine, we are all in it together. They have plants. They grow it. If it's not growing and dying, they know something is wrong. And I tell them, when did you water it? Did you take care of it? Did you, Chili is smelling. Who do you expect to bath Chili? You are Chili's, you are his sibling, be her sibling because she's a girl child. Sorry, my dog is a girl dog. And you are the best example your children can see. I'm a celebrity mom, and they see how hard I work.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will get work, and I would even tell them how much I earned. Like, Mommy, for all that? I say, yes, for all that. So you need to exemplify what you need to mirror what you want your children to see. And many of us don't. You give them false hopes. You make them see false idea about how you got to where you're going. It is hard work. And if you show it to them, they will imbibe yours. You see, I tell them that anybody on social media, when we post pictures, we take 30 pictures to post 2.
Is it 2 or 1?
Because we need to show them the best. I go to their room sometimes. I say, how would you feel if I put this room on social media as it is? Yeah, Mom, don't do that. I say, why? They say, not tidy. I say, you see, you're celebrity children, but your room is untidy. That means this is not the real life. Maybe when you want to do video, you come to my room and say, yeah, I'm chilling in my room, enjoying. We have to let them know what an illusion and reality is. My children wash car when they want me to give them favors. I said, you know that I've been, you say, Mom, your car is so dirty. I know you will be going out tomorrow. I just said, let's clean it. I said, for how much? And they clean the car, and I give them a stipend. You are the best mirror for your children. That's how I live.
You know, so I was going to ask you that, because it's interesting you had mentioned Tiwa Savage before we went on the break. You know, you are a celebrity in your own right. But we all know that there are different grades.
Levels to money, baby.
My sister.
Let's not be. I know.
So how are you able to manage the pressure that come on you? Because it's different if you are that big, because even with the bigger celebrities, they all go through this pressure, trust me. It's just that it's all in different levels. So how are you able to manage the pressure that comes on you? Because I see top celebrities doing some things for their children. I'm wondering, is this not too much? This child is too young to be like this. What you're doing, you're not helping the child to grow. So how are you managing that? And, you know, apart from taking them to work, let them see the hard work and all of that. How do you detox, mentally prepare yourself to say, you know what, this is where I am as a celebrity?
As far as I'm concerned, everything in life is not equal. So as long as you yourself know that, it already reduces your pressure. No matter what some people do, they will never be billionaires till they die.
Absolutely.
So you have to learn how to live within yourself. I'm one of those people that I am the concept of joy. I know Adenike teaches gratitude. I am such a joy teacher. Because if you are not content with your immediate, no matter what you have, you can never be content. When I look at the value I'm offering, if you look at your social media and you see people having mad engagement like Worry Picking, you see what content they're putting on. You see the value and the time and the effort. But you have other things you do. You don't do that. So why are you comparing? It's incomparable. I've come to understand that life is so incomparable from when I was young. Look at us 4 beautiful women on this table. We look nothing like ourselves, and we're all beautiful.
In our rights.
So whether you like it or not, this pressure we talk about, you know you're the one that puts it on yourself.
True.
Nobody out there. Tiwa never said, she's just living what you consider too much is nothing to Elon Musk.
Absolutely.
But to you, it's a lot. So buying a Bentley, a baby Bentley for their children is like you buying like
Biscuits.
Toyota or something for them.
Yeah,
So
biscuits.
it's incomparable when you say, rich kids have too much of this and that. When you can afford to buy designer this and that, you will buy designer this and that, because pant is pant. This is just Gucci pant, and you can afford it. As long as you can live in your headspace, understanding where you are at. If you can't afford Gucci underwear, please wear Gucci underwear. But if you cannot afford Gucci underwear and you can do Primark, wear your Primark
with pride.
It's all going to cover you. That's how I choose. It's a choice I made. It's a choice I made, because I've come to find out no matter what you do, you might never attain to the level of riches some of your colleagues you think they have. So, but you are better, way better
From where you started.
than a lot of people. When you say grade A celebrities, to some people that's still C+. So we are all going to keep living in this strata and cadre all our lives. So you just have to find your niche.
Absolutely.
Dress well doesn't mean you have to wear Gucci.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you can't wear Gucci, wear imitation. And be proud to say this is imitation. On your way to original.
On my way to original.
Exactly, on your way to original. But don't make people feel that this original on his way to fake.
You know, we are Balenciaga.
Let me step in. You're just kidding us. Now, some parents actually do this. They go through their children's phones. Okay? So, what age do you think is appropriate for parents to actually go through their children's phone, if they have to?
I
go
know,
through
it's
their children's
tough.
phone?
I can't lie. It's very tough.
You spy.
You see,
She's a culprit.
what I did is that I tell my daughter that so that I can help her social media, let's have our social medias on each other's phones. Okay. So I have our social media. So, but I for the first time in my life, I am learning to trust. I haven't checked my daughter's phone in months, because I have to get to that place of trust. When they know you're spying, they develop more dangerous ways to hide.
Yes. Tell them.
They do. These digital natives, do you know my children? Do you know my 9-year-old helped me solve issues on my phone that I never knew existed?
Huh.
So tell me,
My
how
friend
do you...
called me yesterday and said that her son, she wants to change his school. What happened? He hacked into the school system. He's just 12. He hacked into the school system to check the results. Like, you know, to check the result of the school.
my
So
days.
his report. So he's just like a school portal. He had like you. I said, but I said, but you know, this is a talent.
Do you know my children could find... I just stopped putting password. When they were 10, they could unpass. I just used to wonder how my data runs out. They will enter the phone and hotspot my phone and download all the games. The only one that alerts me is because I have some alerts on my phone with my second son, so that when he wants to add, I'm like, why am I telling, what game is this again? They're saying I should approve. And I just say, okay, approve. I didn't know it was my data they were siphoning. You see, it's all about trust.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, parenting is instinctive. I mean, instinctual. I don't know the English.
Instinct.
Because I have Oyibo's. I'm trying to be colloquially right.
You're so right.
Yeah. You see, it's instinctive. Sometimes you need to just know some things and you know that there's a problem there.
True.
There was a time my daughter, it wasn't recent, like 13, like she was 13 and she's 16 now. Honestly, parenting is by Holy Ghost sometimes. You know what they do in schools? Parents need to watch out for their children. They form groups on WhatsApp. You know, a friend of mine just told me, don't you see your daughter's WhatsApp status? I'm like, status?
So she blocked you.
WhatsApp. She blocked me off WhatsApp. That's why I didn't even know what was going on. Until I got home one day and I said, give me your phone. She broke down and started to cry. Then I knew there was a problem here.
Guilty.
By the time I gone through the phone when she was 13, they formed groups in school. All these old men infiltrate these groups. Make these children send pornography to each other. Encourage them to send funny semi-nude pictures, telling them that, oh, I'll see conversations like you don't even look 13, you look 18. You're so beautiful. And a child is giggling because those were their formative times. I was just lucky. But many parents are not that lucky. And I said, you know, when I screamed and talked about it, she didn't even understand what my anger was. But I grieved before my daughter because I have only one daughter and daughters are tougher to raise than sons. Well, some people disagree because these days we need to raise them both. But you know, when I got back from work, I scraped my head to my scalp, as in I took my head off. When I got home, I sat down with her on the floor without clothes. You know, for 2 days, she looked at me like this. And like 4 days after, she said, Mommy, what is really the problem? And now explained that, do you know these people are trying to destroy people's lives? Why would they be sending pornography to where children are? He said, I don't know, they just do it. But you see, you got to be attentive to your children. He said, know your children. When they start to change, you can see a child that is very, you know, in your face, always doing this, and it's just suddenly reclusive. You know something is
absolutely
off.
wow.
Time flies when
you are having fun. We have run out of time. But it was an amazing conversation. Very scary.
Yeah.
Very.
But amazing. Thank you so much, Lolo One. Thank you, Issy. Thank you, Elsie. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Ways brand and for following the conversation. So do well to follow us now. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can like, share, comment, and do whatever it is you want to do. All right, so if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Life affords no greater responsibility, no greater privilege than the raising of the next generation. So it's a privilege for us to be raising the next generation. So let us be intuitive, like Lolo had said. You know, let's not go with the mind of fear, but let's be open, let's be vulnerable. I mean, if you listen to her, so many of those things came up in her conversation, being vulnerable with your children. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.